After we got the boils fired up and they're at pressure, the next step is going to be getting the lights on. So what you're going to want to do is come over to the dynamos over here. You can of course find out which dynamo it is. I'm going to open up the throttle on each of them, and that will light up the two lights here on the switchboard, and that'll indicate that you have steam coming through and they're powered. Before we get to this though, we want to quickly head over to here, and we want to turn on the condensing or the circulating pump for the condenser, and then go over here and turn on the injector line and turn on the injector pump. I'll go into more detail on this little area over here when I do the ballast and build video, which will probably be part 3 after this one. So, after that's all set, we can turn on the isolators here. This will connect each of the two dynamos over to the actual grid. And then we can engage the knife switches. And of course these are all labeled so you can check out which one are which. And you can check what your power generation level is here on the bottom. Alrighty, so for actually getting the engine up and running, first step you're going to do is you're going to want to set the reverser to the ahead position here. Right there, and once you get to the max travel you can put the reverser at, you're going to want to keep holding the number 1 button for ahead, and then you're going to want to press the reverser lock just once, and that'll lock the reversers so you don't have any creep. So it's just like the rotation of the crankshaft can cause the valve to shift, and that's probably not what you want. Alright, so anyways, again, operation of this engine is pretty easy. Nothing too complex. Complex to build, but not very complex to use. So anyway, first step to getting the engine running, I guess second step, I'm sorry. I can't speak, I am tired. I don't like building this ship. I'm gonna go home. Anyway, so I'm gonna turn on the cylinder cocks. These are little valves on the cylinders that will exhaust any water that is in the cylinders. That way you don't get hydrolock. After that, simply just go over to your throttle valve and set it to around 75%. Should get this going. Yep, there we go. And of course, behind you, you do have your telegraph. This was made by Mountain View, so big thanks to him. So let's say we were ordered full. We set this all the way to 1 or 100%, whatever you want to call it. And the engine will do its thing. Once you stop seeing water coming out of the cylinders, you can turn off your valves here. Oh. Seems like I didn't set the reverser right. Let it creep back. There we go. Alrighty, so again, once you stop seeing water coming out of the cylinder, that's when you know you can turn off these valves here. Now for actually getting the speed you want, of course there's no speedometer in the steamship. You'll just have to go off of the pressure. This pressure is based off RPM, at least in game, not in real life of course. So 220, 240 is going to be your maximum. Pretty much RPM, speed, whatever you want to call it. So let's say we wanted to go around half speed, let's say maybe that's 150. Set this all the way down. Because of the way Stormworks theme systems work, you might have to set this down to like 30%, even though that really makes sense, but honestly better than using a PID to control the steam valve. Engine will take a fair bit to spin down, but eventually it should reach about 150. Yep, there we go. And of course you'll have to adjust the throttle valve if it gets lower than that. So yeah, it looks like it is. We'll try 0.5. Let's look at that little effect. More. There we go. Do a little more. That's 60-ish. Should be where you need to go. 55. But just play around with it. Find out what you want for low, half full, whatever. And yeah. Pretty much it. Going over the valves, or the pressure dials. So yeah, going over the pressure dials, you'll have your boiler pressure here. This is an average of all of your 4 boilers. So it's around 172. This is just to give you a rough baseline of what your pressure is at, and when you can start the engine. Usually you can start around 100 psi, something like that. In game, of course, I have no idea about the real ship, so don't ask me on that. And then you just got some just gimmicks. It doesn't really do anything, but you can check the pressures on all of the cylinders. So your second low pressure, vacuum, low pressure receiver, medium pressure receiver. And then back here you do have your stroke counter. This counts how many times the piston has gone up and or down. And then at the back here we have your inclinometer. So it looks like we have a little bit of a list to the starboard side. So of course in the next video I'll go over how to tune the valve system. So that really should be it for actually getting the ship started. One other thing, if you want to save a little bit of fuel, this will require a little bit of adjustment on the fireboxes though. You do have the feed water heater here, which is right here. Enabling that will cause any water that goes into the boiler to be heated up. In Stormworks' case, it's just a bunch of heaters inside the boiler, which will give you a little bit more efficiency. I found you can actually run the boilers at around 130, but I would go about 140 though, just in case you might have some problems with keeping pressure up. But yeah, my advice for the ship is pretty much just take it slow, take it kind of just like figure things out for yourself. I don't really want to hold your hand for everything, because that would take probably hours. But, mess around with it, do whatever you want, and I hope you enjoyed it. So, like I said, 3 we'll go over the valve system and other parts of the engineering spaces. And then after that, might film some 4 videos, might not, sure. We'll have to see. So that should be it.